Well, basically, I've had an unfair dismissal from my workplace. I worked for an organization and another company hired us and paid my wages. And a week ago, the organization that I worked in noticed that my kids have used my laptop. And when I admitted, yes, they have used it, another colleague admitted that hers were used as well by her children. And this was because the password sticker
Is this
on
a company-supplied laptop, Hauwer?
Yes, it was theirs.
And do they have a rule or a policy saying you mustn't let anyone else use it?
Yes, they did. Yeah, they
Okay.
did. They didn't me at the time, but they just said strictly work purposes. And the sticker for the password was on the laptop. So my son was using my laptop, and I did tell him quite a few times not to use it. And so they noticed, and they said, due to GDPR reasons, we are going to have to dismiss you. And at first they said that you can come into the center and work from there. And then it took them a week to say that, we cannot support you. You have to ask you to be dismissed. And then I feel like in my workplace, I was used, I was manipulated.
Okay, Hauwer, let me ask you some questions. What did you do?
Yeah. In my workplace?
Yeah, what's your job?
I work for the NHS.
Okay. So there is presumably very sensitive medical information on your laptop about people in your environment, in your neighbourhood?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that your employer is entitled to take a pretty strict view about keeping that information confidential?
Yes, I think so. But I believe that because my colleague has admitted, she said that, my kids use my laptop as well. That's when I thought I had unfair dismissal. First, they said, you can come.
Hauwer, has your colleague been disciplined as well?
No, that's the thing.
Right. Has she admitted it to someone senior or just to you?
Yeah. Yes, my manager was there, and then he said, you shouldn't be using it as well. But because he didn't see the support, he just saw, he didn't see her laptop. It was just my one. So he had the evidence that I was using it.
Is your colleague in his line of management, his management line? Is he responsible for her? And she admitted it. Have you been told off for this before?
No, this is the first time.
This is the first time. So you've been dismissed, she hasn't. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
How long have you worked for the NHS?
For a year and a half.
Okay. That means that you don't have any unfair dismissal rights, I'm afraid, Hauwer, because you have to work for somewhere for 2 years before you get the right to claim unfair dismissal. But it's possible you might have a discrimination case here. Now, and you don't need 2 years for that. Now, you won't have a sex discrimination case because the person who wasn't sacked, you said, is also a woman.
Yeah.
So there's no difference of sex that you can point to and say, that was a man who didn't get fired, I'm a woman who did. Is there any difference of race?
No, but I know that the employer who employed me, the company, and my colleague, they are friends.
That doesn't help you. It would, in fact, that actively harms a case of discrimination because it shows that the reason for treating you differently wasn't sex or race or religion or disability. It's the fact they're friends. And there's no law against discriminating against someone on the basis they're a friend or not a friend. So that actually goes against helping you, I'm afraid, Hauwer. I'm afraid I don't think you're going to have a case here. It is probably reasonable to dismiss you for allowing your kids to access or potentially access confidential NHS medical information on patients. The fact that someone else was treated differently might give you an unfair dismissal claim if you had more than 2 years employment, but you haven't. And if you're the same sex, race, etc., you won't have a discrimination claim either.